Alrighty, so for this video I figured I'd kind of give my strategy on how I generally don't get raided in a server and how I typically will over time conquer that server, if you could say. I will lock down that server to the best of my ability. Basically, the first and one of the most important aspects of you can apply this to official as well, is allies. You need allies. The first thing you should be doing after you set up your base is checking around, seeing who's around you, who are your neighbors, who are in the good spots. Okay, so typically I build in Bear Cave. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm going over to Pearl Cave and I'm seeing how I can kind of make these people my friends, because my goal, it's in my interest for me to like them and for them to like me, because our threat will usually come from out of server. And I know it's a PC official. Typically I play in clusters, large clusters, 10 to 15 servers is really good, but like the 5 to 10 servers is also just the typical range. So typically later on in the game, when you get to the late stage, all your threats are from other servers. There are mega alliances from Ragnarok, Scourged, Aberration, and they're all fighting, and eventually they'll come over to your server. So it is in your best interest to make friends with your neighbors. That is probably one of the biggest pieces of advice I could give you for PC servers in addition to official servers. And this may sound a little scummy, but if it's not working, if you just can't connect with these people for some reason, you get hop in a party with them and the chemistry is just not there, you can't really have a good conversation, then to bond over a shared enemy is amazing. It is the best way to unite a server. If there's some out of server threat, in server threat, if everybody can come together and kind of push out this whatever threat it is, that is probably the best way to unite a server, and you should probably find a way to go about it. Even if you have to make up this threat, you have to say there's just a tribe that you don't like, so you gotta pin some shit on them. Okay, Ark is a dirty business, and you gotta do whatever you gotta do to make sure your tribe is on top. Now, I'm not saying just depend it on some innocent tribe, but typically if my tribe were ever to do this, we would go after a tribe that's kind of been known for trolling, or it's generally disliked all around by anyone, so it's pretty easy overall anyways to get a few people together to go and raid them and kind of again unite against this common enemy. It's the probably best strategy if you can't just talk to the people. And but in addition to that, trading, you should be trading. Trading is the best way to get connections across servers, probably, because it's kind of hard to establish that shared threat when someone's a server away. So if you are trying to get allies out of server, then trading is what you need to do. Also, you should be very blunt about it, that you are looking for an alliance. You should come out and say what your numbers are, generally how many active members you have. You need to, it's like a job interview almost. You need to say all the good qualities about your tribe and how you could be beneficial in working with the tribes next to you or across server. Generally, you want to have allies out of server if there is an enemy alliance within your server, or if you just it's not working, you can't ally with all the people in your server because you have some past beef or something, then you need to go out of server and get those allies through trading, most likely. So my next piece of advice would just be to get a 8-man tribe. Typically 8 is the number that I've always tried to achieve. Typically as of lately, I haven't really tried to get anyone in my group, so usually it's only the 3 of us. It's me, my buddy Striker, and Alpha. But you need to shoot for this 8 range. Okay, that's kind of the number that you can't be outnumbered in most situations. It's perfect for cave defense, because even if there's a 20-man tribe at your doorstep, if you have an 8-man tribe defending a cave, they're gonna have a lot of trouble getting in, and that's why caves are so good. That's another advice: build in caves. They've tried their best to nerf caves, but in my opinion, I still love caves. They're amazing. because you can have lines and lines of turrets and death walls, and you can have all your outer defense, and eventually you push out your defense so far that it's not even in the 8 times damage range, and that's sort of the point that you're not really, you're not untouchable, but you know, the most people aren't going to mess with you because they don't want to go through the pain of the 4 or 5 days it takes to raid a cave, maybe longer if they don't know what they're doing. Another tip I have for you is you need to have a base location in mind. You shouldn't join a server without knowing exactly where you want to build, because say a server wipes, everyone is fighting over base spots. You need to have your group ready to place down foundations, gates, whatever it takes to lock down that location, and then maybe have a member out there trying to get weapons for you, just mass producing pikes and armor and whatnot if it's not a server where you can just get that at a drops. But yeah, you basically need a dart for that location. You need to grind up the levels to be able to make wood foundations, and then spam them all throughout that cave or place or wherever. So make sure that you do some research if you're not exactly familiarized with the map's space locations, and then, you know, kind of dart for that location. So yeah, that's basically all the tips I have for you. Just a lot of Ark is politics, okay? The political game is something that you cannot ignore in Ark. You have to play that game, and you know, you need to have probably a member specifically assigned to just dealing with the politics of the server, and, you know, figure out what tribes are mad at which and how to benefit off that. So, you know, play that political game to the best of your advantage, and you should be alright. That's the main way you're gonna get through Ark, because your biggest threat is not the dinosaurs, believe it or not. It's other players, so you need to have those relations established, and yeah, that's basically all I got for you today. I got another 2 videos lined up after this one that I'm gonna make, so if you could, please subscribe, and yeah, that'll be greatly appreciated. Thanks, bye.
Stuck in a loop, loving and fighting this crew.